Have you ever wondered why all around the world people have different tones of skin and hair? Well, guess what? Today your doubts will be vanished. It is all thanks to the proteins. But what are the proteins? Proteins are molecules that can perform a very vast array of functions. Depending on the code that the DNA of the cell has, the ribosomes will produce the protein with its specific functions. But how are they created? We have to consider that there are three types of RNA. rRNA, R stands for ribosomal and it provides location for protein synthesis. mRNA, M stands for messenger and it stores instructions for pulling a polypeptide from the DNA to the ribosomes. tRNA, T stands for transfer and it collects and transfers amino acids from the cytoplasm to the ribosomes to join in the polypeptide chain. The first stage is called transcription. In this stage, the DNA unzips and the RNA reads the information and builds mRNA, which is the copy of information. Then, the mRNA complements the base sequence, separates from the DNA, and travels to the ribosomes, which are made of rRNA. During this process, the tRNA links with some amino acids. Now that we know how proteins are formed, let's focus on the melamine. Melamine is the protein responsible of coloring our life. It gives color to the skin, hair, and eyes. Melamine is also found in the retina, where it helps in normal vision. It protects skin cells from UV radiation damage, reducing the risk of cancer. It is produced by the TYRP1 gene, which provides instructions for making an enzyme called tyrosinase related to protein 1. This enzyme is located in melanocytes, which are specialized cells that produce a pigment called melanin. Tyrosinase-related protein 1 is involved in the production of melanin. This enzyme may help stabilize tyrosinase, which is the enzyme responsible for the first step in melanin production. This protein may also help determine the shape of the melanosomes, which are the structures in melanocytes where melanin is produced. All this process is called melanogenesis. As we know, the hair, skin, and eyes color will be different between individuals. But what makes these variations? The melanins. They are pigments derived from the amino acids. There are three types. Eumelanin, it produces black and brown pigment to the eyes, hair, and skin. You may find that little amounts of the pigment may cause blonde hair. Pheomelanin, it produces pink, yellow, and red colors for the hair and skin. It is found among red-haired individuals. It is not as protective against UV radiation as eumelanin. And finally, neuromelanin. It is found in different areas of the brain, and the loss of this melanin may cause several neurological disorders. Let's talk about the eyes. People with black or brown eyes have more protection against the sun rays. It is because they produce more eumelanin. People with blue, green, or hazel eyes have little protection from the sun and may have discomfort, irritation, burning, and tissue damage if the eyes are not protected by sunglasses. This is because they have a poor production of eumelanin. In the hair, the color is determined by the pigment type and the density and distribution of the pigment granule. Eumelanin is a dark pigment that predominates in black and brunette hair. There are two different types of eumelanin, brown and black. A small amount of brown eumelanin causes blonde hair. Pheomelanin is a lighter pigment found in red hair, and it is concentrated in the redder areas of the skin, such as the lips. People with red hair are less able to make the dark eumelanin pigment. Their skin is generally quite pale and burns easily with sun exposure. Although people with dark hair may still produce the yellow-orange pheomelanin, it is covered by the dark eumelanin pigment. The range of colors produced is limited to yellow, brown, red, and black. Gray hairs contain few melanin granules, and the white hairs contain no melanin. Their whiteness is an optical effect. They just reflect the light. Skin color. Melanin reduces ultraviolet-induced DNA damage by absorbing the radiation that would have been absorbed by the DNA. This prevents the development of melanoma, a deadly form of skin cancer. Skin color depends on the size, number, shape, and distribution of melanosomes, as well as the chemical nature of their melanin content, which relates to the level of activity. There are 6 different skin types that are defined by dermatologists. Type 1. Always burns, never tans, very fair skin with red or blonde hair and freckles. Type 2. Burns easily, tans minimally, fair skin. Type 3. Sometimes burns, gradually tans. Type 4. Minimum burning, always tans, white with medium pigmentation. Type 5. Seldom burns, always tans. medium to heavy pigmentation. Type 6 never burns but turns very darkly. African Americans, Africans, or dark-skinned individuals with very heavy pigmentation. There is a correlation between geographic conditions, exposure to sunlight, and skin tone. Africans developed a dark-toned skin, rich in the pigment melanin, because they needed to shield the DNA from radiation damage. Melanin improves the immune system, and darker skin groups have a lower incidence of serious diseases including Parkinson, multiple sclerosis, and spina bifida. The darker skinned individuals age better as their skin is more protected from sun damage.